Welcome back to the Sunday Reset. You probably heard the term the summer slide. It gets thrown around a lot this time of year, usually in a way that makes parents feel like they're already behind. I want to talk about it differently today because, yes, the summer slide is real, but what's causing it in your child's life is probably not what you think. And once you see it clearly, you'll know exactly what to do about it. The summer slide isn't about forgetting. Not really. Kids don't forget how to read over the summer. They don't forget their multiplication tables just because school's out. What actually happens is subtler than that, and it's rooted in one of our raised scholar pillars. During the school year, your child has both. They receive new instruction every day, new concepts, new skills being introduced, and they have built in practice through homework, classwork, and assignments. Summer removes the instruction, which is fine. That's what summer is for. But for a lot of families, it also removes the practice, and that's where the slide happens. The summer slide isn't forgetting. It's what happens when practice stops and no one notices until September. Here's what most parents do in the summer. They either go full throttle, buying workbooks and setting up a whole academic program, or they let everything stop completely because their child needs a break. And honestly, they do. Both instincts make sense. Neither one is wrong, but there's a middle path that most families miss. The goal of a summer isn't to keep teaching, it's to keep practicing what has already been learned. There's a big difference between those things. Teaching requires a lesson, a curriculum, and sequence. Practice just requires repetition, familiar material, things your child already knows how to do, done consistently so the skills stay sharp. Think about it like a sport. A kid who plays soccer all spring doesn't spend the summer learning new plays. They juggle, they kick against the wall, they keep their feet moving, not because they've learned something new, because they're keeping what they built from going soft. Academic skills work the same way. So here's the question I want you to sit with this week. What does your child already know that just needs to stay warm? Not what they need to learn next, not where their gaps are. What did they build this past year that's worth protecting? This is your summer practice target. Reading fluency, math facts, writing sentences, whatever they worked hardest for this year, that's what you're going to keep practicing. 20 minutes a day, familiar material, low pressure. Summer isn't for learning new things. It's for protecting what they've already built. So September does not feel like starting over. Now, here's the part that matters for the long game. The parents who notice a real gap over the summer, not just little rustiness, but something that wasn't clicking even in May, those parents have a window right now. Summer is actually the best time to address a learning gap because the pressure is off. There's no grade writing on it. There's no teacher watching, just you, your child, and the space to actually work through it. That might mean a tutor. It might mean a structured learning program. It might mean a conversation with their teacher in the fall. But it starts with you seeing it clearly, not hoping it works itself out and not waiting until October when the new school year has already been built on a foundation with cracks in it. Because gaps don't close on their own. They compound. The third grade gap becomes the fifth grade struggle, becomes the middle school student who's convinced they're just not good at math. And somewhere along the way, they stop believing they could catch up. That's the part that breaks my heart because it was addressable early when it was still small. You're listening to this in July. You still have time. This week's challenge. This week, watch your child do something academic. Read out loud, work through a few math problems, write a few sentences. Don't help, just observe. Are they confident or hesitant? Smooth or slow? What you see is information. Write it down. That's the start of the plan. You don't have to figure this all out today, but you do have to see it clearly before September. Observation is the first step. Everything else follows from that. If you're realizing your child might need more than a podcast episode this summer, I want you to know that something is coming in September that was built for this exact moment. It's called the Personal Independence Roadmap. It gives you a clear step-by-step picture where your child is and what they need next. The waitlist is open now at raisingscholarsPodcast.com. Get on it. Founding members get first access and a special rate. I'm Jacquie Langworthy. I'll see you next Sunday.